So let's bring in Republican Tom Price, the chairman of the House Republican Policy Committee. Speaker Boehner appointed him to negotiate with Senate over the differences in this payroll tax cut extension issue. So you are a great person to have with us today, Congressman Price. Welcome.
Hey, Martha. Thanks so much. Good to be with you.
Good morning. You just heard Steny Hoyer. He says, don't hold these people hostage. Let's pass what we agreed on in the Senate, this 2-month extension. So what's going on?
Well, it's hard to hold anybody hostage when you're here, ready, willing, and able to work. Look, we're here, and the Senate Democrats are not, and that's the problem. The number one issue across this country is economy and jobs, and in order to provide certainty to the market so that the economy can get rolling again, we've got to do something more than just a 2-month extension of these things. We've got to provide greater certainty, and that's what we believe. We're willing to sit down and talk with our Senate colleagues, but they've got to come back to Washington to be able to do it. Again, we're here, and they're not.
Yeah, that's the problem. They are not there, and there doesn't seem to be. Nancy Pelosi put forward this idea that you could do a unanimous consent vote, and people wouldn't need to come back to do that. Of course, you're not going to get unanimous consent in the House of Representatives among Republicans on this. But I guess the issue is, it sounds somewhat reasonable when Steny Hoyer talks about do the 2-month thing right now, and then, we do that with a commitment to come back and work on a 1-year deal and work out all of our differences right after the new year. What is wrong with that?
Well, it's because the policy is different. Look, we believe that there ought to be a year-long extension of the payroll tax holiday, which is a $1,000 tax reduction for individuals. They believe it ought to be 2 months. That's what's in their bill. That's $167. We believe that the extension of federal unemployment benefits ought to be with some reforms. Ought to allow the states to drug screen, for example, make certain that folks are getting their GED, make certain that they're working toward a job, and that ought to go on for 13 months.
But can't you get those things when you come back after the holidays and work on this 1-year deal?
Well, there isn't any reason that we can't do it now. But we don't have anybody to talk with, as I say. And then as a physician, I can tell you that a 2-year extension of the physician reimbursement formula for doctors taking care of seniors is so much more important than a 2-month. 2-month doesn't even allow physicians to be able to schedule surgery. So seniors are going to be compromised in the care that they're able to receive, even if we were to adopt the 2 months. So there are reforms within our program. There aren't within theirs. Yeah. They want to increase fees on individuals. We want to decrease spending in order to pay for it.
I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of people do. What do you make of Steny Hoyer basically saying, look, the Wall Street Journal, Karl Rove, everybody is telling these House Republicans that they need to, deal with this and move on. Does that matter to you at all? Do you care about that?
Well, look, I expect that out of Steny, but the fact of the matter is the House has passed a bill, the Senate has passed a bill, and there are differences between them. And the way that you sort those out is to come together in a conference committee, sit down and work it out and come to that common ground. That's the way it's been done in this country for over 200 years, since the founding of the country. It's very, very basic. Everybody who's taken a civics class knows that. Maybe Steny ought to read the civics book. I don't know.
Well, and you all have put forward conferees, but the Senate, the Democrats have not.
Correct. Absolutely. And that's what we're calling on. We're calling on the president. He's going to go on television later, and hopefully what he'll say is, I've asked Senator Reid to appoint conferees to come back to Washington. We're here. They're not. They need to come to Washington so we can work these challenges out.
Let me ask you this, Congressman. What do you say to people at home right now who are saying, look, I don't need more money taken out of my paycheck after January 1? What do you say to them?
We agree. We also believe you don't need more money taken out of your paycheck after February 29th. And we can provide that certainty right now. If individuals have that kind of certainty...
Can you assure them that even if you don't get your 1-year deal, that they will not see their paycheck take that bite out of it?
Well, look, we're not going to negotiate with ourselves. We need to be negotiating with the Senate Democrats. But we can't do that until they come back to town. It is our desire to see taxes lowered, to see spending decreased in Washington, and to see the size and scope of government decreased as well. That's what Republicans stand for. This is the party of tax reductions. The other side needs to come to the table and negotiate with us so we can find that common ground.
All right. Congressman Price, thank you very much. You guys have got a lot of work to do before you can get home, and we thank you for spending some time with us today.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Merry Christmas.